Hi everyone. So today we are starting a new vlog, and we are doing a vlog finishing some series, which means to me reading the last book in a whole bunch of series that I'm so close to finishing. And I have a list of those books, and I've already started and finished one of them for this video. So let me go get it. So here are the books I will be reading for this vlog. Here are some of the books I already physically own that I need to finish or want to finish these series. The first one is The Angel of Darkness. This is book 2 in the Alienist series. It's only 2 books, so this is the last one. And I love that book so much. It's one of my favorite books of 2024. And I really want to finish the series, and this will do that. And it's a thick girl with small font, so I know it's going to be a long process. I annotated the heck out of the first one, so I'll probably do the same with this one. I really love this series in this book, so this is the first one. The second one is this amazing series, the Plated Prisoner series, and I will be reading the 6th and final book, Goldfinch. I am very excited about this one. I'll probably be reading this very soon. I'm very excited about that. And then I have And Then There Was Passion by Asian Monique. Now, I don't think this series is complete, but there's only 2 books out. So catching up and finishing doesn't matter to me. And this one is quite thinner than the first one, And Then Life Was Beautiful. If you want a review on that one, I have a video, a vlog dedicated just to that one book, and it was a top tier romance. And this is the sequel to it, following different characters, and I'm very excited to read this one. I'm very excited. Then we have Shipwreck. This is the Olivia Dade series, spoiler alert series. I read book 1, spoiler alert. I give it like a 4.5 or a 5, I don't remember. I got the 3rd one for Christmas, but I haven't read book 2. So in this vlog, I have to read book 2 as well, which I will be reading through KU whenever I get there. Next, I have the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson. The last book in that series would obviously be Defiant. I read Skyward, and that's all. So I have to read Starsight, Cytonic, the novellas, and then this one, which I don't know if I'll update all of the other ones fully. I don't really know for sure, but I have to read all those to get to this one. And the last one for this vlog, because this is already a lot of books, and I already finished it yesterday. I started it yesterday and I finished it yesterday. The Empress of Time by Kylie Lee Baker. The first book is The Keeper of Night, and I gave it 3 stars. I did not like this series. I did not like the main character at all, Ren, but I liked one character specifically in the book, and something happens to him at the end of the book because of her, and that is the only reason I wanted to read book 2, is to make sure he was okay. And he was okay. Things ended fine in the book, but I just don't like these characters enough, don't like the plot enough, don't like the storytelling enough to keep these books. So book 1 and book 2 will be getting unhauled, but I did finish the first book technically of this vlog, which I'm very excited about. Now, there are a couple that I would like to read that I don't physically own, the last book in the series. The first one is Ghostsmith by Nikki Palpretto. I hope I said that correctly. I read Bonesmith in January, and I gave it 5 stars. It got me back in love with YA fantasy, and so I really want to read Ghostsmith. And the second one is Where the Library Hides, I believe it's called, which is book 2 and the final book in the What the River Knows book or series by Isabel Ibanez. I think Ibanez. Love that book as well, which I think I have a different opinion from most people about that book, but I love that book as well. I want to try to get the special editions of both of those because I had special editions of book 1s of both of those, but that might not happen, and that's okay. So I'm going to read them from the library most likely, and when I finally buy them physically, whenever that may be, it most likely will be regular editions. But I'm very excited if I get through these or whatever to get to those two as well, I might even read those first. Who knows? I try to stick to books that I have like I'm physically own. I'm in the middle of a lot of series, and a lot of them I don't physically own. So I might as well do the ones that I can physically finish with a physical book. So yeah, those are the ones I want to do, and I'm very excited to do them. Let's get into it. But also, I think this vlog will take place over weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe even months and months and months, because last year I completed a goal of having a TBR for each month and finishing the TBR for each month, and that put a strain on my relationship with TBRs. Is getting triggered, so I don't make TBRs as much anymore. This year, 2025, was a year of no TBRs. It's whatever I want to read. So I be giving back Libby holds all the time because I want to read it when I put it on hold, and I don't want to read it no more. Give it back, right? So I don't. This is not a TBR as in I'm reading them all in a week or this month. These will get read when they get read, but hopefully in a timely manner. But yeah, so this is all the physical ones I have, and I hope I get to them quickly. I already technically finished one, so I'm happy about that. So let's get into it. Hello everyone. So I have finished another book for the vlog where I finished series, and this is for the series The Hanson Family, I believe, by Asia Monique, and I gave this book 4 stars. And I had some issues with this book. The main issue I had with this book was I have read many Asia Monique. Let me show you how many Asia Moniques I have read. These are all the Asia Monique books I have read, right? And then including the one I have a vlog about separately, and then Life is Beautiful, which was a 5 out of 5. Look at all the annotations. I need to go back and annotate these, but a lot of them I read on Kindle first, so. But all the Asia Monique books I read. And this is the first one that ever had like just editing mistakes throughout. And that's the reason it didn't get a 5 star. The editing was very not great. And the first, like on day 1, I read this in 2 days. Day 1, I didn't record anything because I was doing like a solo date where I was just drinking tea, reading in my nook, quiet, no TV, no nothing, right? And I was like, in the first 57 pages that I read during that, there was so many errors. One error was so bad, it was during a sex scene, and she basically wrote like, he's putting himself in himself. Like, it was not great. It was not great, let's just say that. And there was many throughout, and I was just like, it took you out of the story so heavily. And that's the thing, I have never seen this in a book, in one of her books before. And indie girlies usually do work alone, and sometimes you just make mistakes, and that's perfectly fine. That's why every once in a while it happens, and I don't mind it in indie books, because you're usually working alone, don't have much support backing you, and you might later on, but not right now. But it has never happened with her, and I just didn't understand. They were huge mistakes, and so I couldn't get over that. So it was a 4 star. But the book itself, like, it would have got a 5 star if it didn't have any of that stuff in it. But it just took you out of the story. But this follows June Hanson and Calix Moore, and they had like a one night stand some time back, and then they meet each other again. But June has a past history with an abusive relationship, and Calix has like not imposter syndrome, but like just lost his father and his stepmother, and he has some dealings with that that's hard for him. And they start to do a relationship, and it's a beautiful relationship because it's him giving June a safe space for her to love again and feel safe to love again, to trust a man that's not in her family again. And this is giving him a chance to lean on somebody so he doesn't feel like the whole world is on his shoulders. Now that he has inherited the newspaper business, not newspaper, but like journalist business from his father and things like that. Sorry about my voice, but so yeah, that was that. One of the other reasons is like I'm starting to have a perception of Asian Monique and that I don't really enjoy, which is last year when I went to Sun Heart Sign Kisses, she was amazing to me. She signed all the books I just showed you. She signed them, including the new ones I bought there, which was and then Life Was Beautiful and then there was Passion. But I also went there with Reading Spurts and Chai Sips, and she got a book signed, and then she pre-ordered a book were able to pre-order there. I already had those books individually, but it was like an omnibus version of those, and she never received it. And she talked to Asia Monique and everything. Asia was like, "Oh, it got sent to the wrong address, and it came back, so I will send it out again." And she was like, "Okay." Sent it out again, and it didn't come. She hasn't received a refund or the book, which is the two that you would want: either give me the book that I pay for or give me the refund. And she hasn't received either, and hasn't heard from her from Asia either. And that just put a nasty taste in my mouth because I met her and she seemed like a lovely lady, but now I'm just like, it seems like a little bit like she's slacking because she has a decent audience now, and I'm one of those people in her decent audience, I think. But I hope that these were just flukes. I hope that she remembers, hey, I need to give this woman back her money or give her her book. I don't know. It's just putting a bad taste in my mouth, and I hope that changes. I love supporting Black women, and I love supporting indie Black women especially. And that's what the whole Southern Hearts and Sign Kisses is about, is supporting indie Black authors and giving them another person who's going to buy their book and support them for the business they want to do forever. And I want to grow my indie selection on my bookcases far and wide. I want it to be, I already think I have more indie romances than I do traditionally published romances. And that is something that I take pride in. But this is making me lose hope for one of those authors. Like, you're not gonna like everybody's work who's indie, right? And I haven't if you watched my Southern Heart Sign Kisses videos. But I know for a fact I enjoy her. She hasn't left without a good book ever. So, I don't know, just put a bad taste in my mouth. But it's okay because people make mistakes, but I just hope that she learns. But obviously it's gonna make Reading Spurts and Chai Sips and I want to buy nothing from her again. So, yeah. Kind of, you know? I forgot the other books that I put on this, but I'm thinking one of them was Goldfinch, obviously, and I don't remember. Oh, the other one was The Angels of Darkness. I know that. One of them had to be Defiant. I don't remember the rest that I put on there, and I don't know when I'm gonna start any of those. So, I'm just glad I read another book from my TBR because I haven't read many books from my TBR this month. I've mainly read from other people's TBRs and then from Kindle. For a video you've already seen, which is Southern Hearts and Sign Kisses episode 3. So I'm very excited to read more. This is the 5th book I read from my TBR, which is not much, but it's better than 0. So I don't know when the next time I'm going to be reading something. Hopefully I actually show me reading it and not just me at the end finishing it. Hopefully I have some B-roll in between there somewhere, hopefully. But yeah, I'll see you guys when I read the next one, which I don't know which one that would be. Hello, everyone. So I have finished book 2 in the spoiler alert series, which was All the Feels, and I really enjoyed it. I had a great time reading it. I would give it a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed book 1 more, but book 2 was more of the same. I loved it. I love that Olivia Dade knows how to write a character who is accepting and loving of their own body, but understands that people who care way too much about other people to begin with, but have their own opinions, and they can't stop people from having their own opinions, but they can still love themselves in spite of that. And I love that. And I think she writes fat and plus size sex scenes very well, very spicy. Honestly, she has some of the more spicy scenes in books that I've read in a while. I really enjoy them. I really like them. There's a lot of communication in them, and there's a lot of just spiciness. Men being submissive or dominant, women being submissive or dominant. I love that in books. So now I'm on hold for Shipwrecked, the audiobook. I'm first in line, and it says it should be coming available soon. So this is probably the next book I'm going to be updating you guys on, and I hope to like it. Even if I like it, it's gonna stay on my shelves, obviously. But I still need to buy book two, All the Feels, because I read it on Kindle. But I'm very excited for this one, and I hope to enjoy this just as much as I enjoyed books one and two. So let's wait for that. Hello, everyone. So I have officially finished another book for this vloggy vlog, for this video, and it is Shipwrecked. So I have officially finished the spoiler alert series. I love this series so much. I love the premise. I loved every character, which doesn't happen often, and I was just having a great time while reading this series. The main point I want to talk about with this book is one, it treats fat women specifically, but fat people in general, and bigger people and plus size people so amazing, so well. Fat is not an insult. Fat is not a derogatory thing, but people use it as such. And fat does not mean you're not beautiful, that you're not lovable, that you're not whatever. It doesn't mean any of those things. Yet people use it to women mainly as if it is, and it's not. So I love that this book in particular, book three, follows a fat man and a fat woman, both, and I love that so much. But I love all three books so much. If you want to know like a little bit more in-depth thoughts, I would recommend like my Goodreads reviews for them. But I love them. I love that the premise of these books in general is basically Game of Thrones, like the actors who were on Game of Thrones, like the two main directors of the show are Ron and Ray or something like that, and they're horrible, and they messed up the last season of the show, and no one really agrees with it, and it's a fantasy type series. I love that premise. So all the main characters from each book, one of them at least, was a actor on the show. So book one, the main male guy, book two, the male main guy, and then book three, though both of them were main characters on the show. And it's about them learning how to be themselves while still being celebrities, learn how to deal with the criticism that comes with being celebrity, learning how sometimes your work dictates your real life and how you want to interact with the world, how much you want them to be in on your relationship and things like that. But it also talks about how much people sometimes rely on their work. This one specifically for money, and it's a job. At the end of the day, it is a job. I find these books great. So I'm just gonna read my Goodreads review because I think it explains my thoughts wholeheartedly. This is a top tier series with amazing characters with great development. This author knows how to write smut. She is great at writing smut, by the way. Romance and a concise plot with believable conflict that any couple would go through. And that's a main thing I love about these books. I don't read a lot of traditional romance anymore because I felt like they all had a third act breakup when 95% of the time I felt like they could have talked it through, or it wasn't necessary, or they just did it because that's a part of the romance criteria at this point, which I guess, but not needed because in a lot of the indie books I read, they aren't. But I felt like all three of the third act breakups made sense. And I was like, I understand why people would have to separate for this reason and how they still love each other, but and they have to compromise. This one especially, the third act breakup made so much sense, and the fact that at the end they're compromising and they're discussing, it's like some of them, like one of the characters sacrificed something for the other, and that had to be done in return for it to feel real and like yes. And it was kind of bittersweet in that way because you're like, oh, this person doesn't get everything they want, but neither does this person, and that makes me feel really, really good about it. What else did I say about it? While still having it be funny and lighthearted, I wish more traditionally published books were like this, and I do. I wish more had this overall top tier experience, which a lot don't. It's not overall good. Like overall characters, great. I didn't find one main character annoying. I didn't find the banter too outlandish or anything like that. I really enjoyed this book and I really enjoyed this series. I need to buy book two, All the Feels. And if I would rank the three books, I would rank, I don't know. My number one is spoiler alert, which is book one, I believe. I just think I had a new experience with that one, and that one just holds a special place. So my number one is spoiler alert, and my number two, I think my number two is shipwrecked, and then my number three is all the feels. But I'm very happy that I read them. I'm sorry if you can't see it, so I'm bringing it closer for you. Cheese. But I really enjoyed this book. I had a great time reading it. And I would love to read more things by Olivia Day because this was great. So, yeah, that's another series checked off the list. I did it. Period, period, period. Okay, on to the next one. Hello, everybody. So, I have some updates about my finishing series vlog. This will be in, obviously. The next book I'm going to start for that will be Goldfinch. And I just put Where the Library Hides on hold on Libby. So, it should be available, I think, in the upcoming month. I hope to get at least 2 of those books done this month. And the one I'm gonna get done, I believe, will be Goldfinch and What the Library Hides. But maybe Angels of Darkness. But that book, one, I'm gonna annotate, but 2, it's gonna be a harder read because The Alienist was one of my favorite books of 2024, but it was not quite dark, but it was pretty dark. It was like a darker version of a Criminal Minds episode, in my opinion. So I'm just nervous because I don't want to read that and like have that get me into a slump, even if I give it 5 stars like I did the first one. But yeah, also I took my twist out, so this is what my hair looks like out of twist. It looks beautiful. I just never know how to sleep with this because honestly, I'm going this weekend to a wedding celebration. It's going to be all weekend, Friday through Sunday, and so I'm going to a whole different state for it, and I would love my hair to look like this for it, but I don't know how to sleep with this or anything like that, so it always looks matted and crazy. Like it will look good on day 1, but then day 2 and 3 it will not look anything close to this. So on Wednesday I'm getting my hair did. I hopefully will enjoy it and like it. I'm getting faux locks. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, So I'm going to try to get at least 2 more done. 2 more the series. I've been putting that on the back burner, but I decided to cut out one of the book series. So you won't know which one that is because I'm probably going to cut it out. I'm edit it out of the footage. But I decided to take that one out because I would have to read like 3-4 books just to get to the last one. And I don't want this one to be on my camera roll for that long, on my SD card for that long. And so, yeah, I'm just going to take that one out. It was the Skyward series by Brandon Sanderson. I love the series. I've only read book 1 and I have the rest of them, but they're not on Libby. For some reason, those are the only Brandon Sanderson books not on Libby. And they're on Toki, but Toki is crazy right now. So many ads. You can't even blink without there being an ad. And I might get them from Audible, but I don't know if it's worth it or not to use a credit for them. But they might be worth it, actually, so I don't know. I might use a credit for them. But who knows? So yeah, I'll see you in the next clip. Hi everyone. So I'm halfway through Goldfinch by Miss Raven Kennedy, and I thought I would update you. I don't feel like my face being in the camera, but I thought I would update you, and I'm really enjoying it. Right now, it would be a 4-star. I thought there would be a lot more like action going on. Like there is a good chunk of action, like, but it's not as much as I was hoping for. And I am not really into the smut scenes between the two main characters. For some reason, they feel so like boring and formulaic. So I usually just like glaze over them. But the relationship between Orzik and Risa, which are like the side characters, they just got together and they just did all their stuff like earlier in the book. And that was chef's kiss. And I think it's because there was so much tension because throughout book 5, she was in a coma for like 99% of that book. She was in a coma, and there was so much tension. And they talked about when she finally woke up, and at the beginning of this book, there was so much communication about what they are to each other. And because Orzik is so blunt, he was like, well, I like you, and this, that, and the other, and this, and this, and this, and this. And she was like, she's never had to face someone who likes her for her, who isn't paying for her attention, who isn't paying for her body. And I think I love her development more than anything. If she dies in this book, let me tell you this right now. If him or Orzik die in this book, we're gonna have problems. I know it's unrealistic. A lot of people say it's unrealistic for everybody in a fantasy novel to live, but I like when everybody lives. I feel like you can still have strife with the living, because a character that's a like a minimal side character, but that you knew throughout the entirety of the series, died in this book, and I cried. That was the first and only time I've cried so far, because it was heart wrenching, and because it was between a character who it was between the side character and the character you wouldn't expect to be doing that with them, and it was beautiful and it was sad. um so yeah, I'm just very very much enjoying it, but it's not like a 5 star. Like, I'm not like, ah. But I did read over 300 pages, like 330 something pages in one day, and I'm reading it physically, no audiobook. So I read like most of this yesterday, so I'm probably gonna finish it today if I read just as fast. And I'm starting a little earlier. I started reading at like 1 p.m. yesterday, and I'm reading at like 11 a.m. right now. So I'm hoping to get a good chunk through. And then I have 2 YouTube videos to edit later. So I might not finish it today because I have 2 YouTube videos to edit, and I want to put them up first. It's like schedule them now. So we'll see what I get up to. But I'm gonna read for a little bit. I'm watching Gavin reads it all in the background. But yeah, let's just hope that, this goes well and I read a good chunk of it. So yeah. Bye. Hello. I'm in the bathroom, so I hope, I'm also sweating, so if I look shiny, that's why. I've been doing this video for so long, recording this vlog or video for so long. I've changed hair, like, things have happened since. But this is for the finishing series, and this is going to be the last book for this video. I decided to take off 2 series. I took off the Skyward series because that would mean I would have to read 3 other books before I get to the final book, and I'm just not in the mood for that right now. I read the first one because for some reason Audible had Skyward for free for some reason last year, and I really enjoyed it. And they haven't had any of the other ones free, and that's buying a lot of Audible credits, and they're not on Libby for some reason on both libraries that I'm at, so I'm taking that one off. And the other one I'm taking off is Angels of Darkness because I loved book 1 so much, and it was a piece of time for me that's one of my most annotated books ever. It was something that I sat with and had to sit with for a minute. And I want that to be the same experience for book 2 as well. And I don't want it to feel like I'm doing it just for a video, so I'm taking that one out as well. So the last book that I'll be reading for this is Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez. And this is the second and last book in the series, but I don't know what the series itself is called. I don't know. But I'm going to start it today. I'm probably not going to finish it, but it is quite thin. Hold on, let me see how many pages it is. It's less than 400 pages, so it will be a quicker read. An Impossible Love, An Enchanted Legacy, A Dangerous Discovery. Ooh. But yeah, this is it. I'm going to start this one, and yeah, let's get to it. Hi everyone. So I just finished Where the Library Hides by Isabel Ibanez, and I'm gonna give it a 3.5 stars. I loved book 1. Book 1 I loved and enjoyed way more than this one. Here, let me grab it for you. I loved book one way more. I just felt like this one and the second one, everything was getting thrown at the wall. I felt like everybody became evil at the end. I don't feel like Wit was redeemed as much as he should have been in this one. And I really didn't care for it as much as I did book one. And I thought that a lot of the characters, the side characters that was in book one, didn't have much to do in book two. And I feel like it's thinner. And I don't know. It just wasn't it for me, you know? The thing is, it was good enough that I would reread this in a couple of years and I'd probably have different opinions on it. Because I liked it good enough. I just felt like a lot of the characters were the problem in this one. Like, she made all the characters evil in some way, and it was kind of like, for what? For why? But yeah. So let's talk about all the books I read for this video. For this video, I read 5 different last books in series, and I'm going to tell you how I feel about them. Some of these are just like catching up on a series, and some are finishing a series. So the first one I read was And Then There Was Passion by Asia Monique, and this one I would give a 4-star. The thing is, there was a lot of editing errors in this. That was the only problem with this book. There was editing errors. You can see in a video I did 2-3 months ago, I had a whole vlog dedicated to this book one in the series. I love her books, but this had so many editing errors, it was crazy. Then I read The Empress of Time, and this is book 2 of a duology as well. And I did not like the series. I thought it was a very mid-series. I didn't like the main character at all. I was only reading it for the main character's brother because I felt like he deserved more, and so I was just over it. But yeah, this will be getting unhauled. This book 1 and book 2 unhauled. Next, I read Shipwrecked, and I love this entire series. Book 1 I think is still my fave, but I love this entire series so much. I had so much fun reading it, and I had a great time. I think I gave it like a 4.5, I believe. It was so good. It was top tier. Then I read Goldfinch. This is the final book in the Play the Prisoner series, and I loved it so much. I give it 4 stars. Book 3 I think will always be my favorite, and then book 5 and 6 were really good as well. So I really enjoyed them. So I had a great time reading this series, and I will keep the series forever. Plus I have the white editions, which are so lovely, and they make a little picture. I love it. And then lastly, you just heard me talk about it, I have Where the Library Hides. This is not the best way I wanted to end a series. I feel like they could have done a little bit more. I feel like the author could have done a little bit more with the characters instead of just making like half of them evil. However, it was still a pretty good book. And I enjoyed it enough. So I will be keeping this one as well. The only one I'm unhauling is the Kylie Lee Baker. But I heard some really good things about her other books. So maybe I'll try the other ones that she has. Who knows? But yeah, that's everything I read for this vlog. This has been a very long vlog in the making, let me tell you. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't let my bad opinions or my good opinions sway you from reading any of these books. We all have different tastes, so we all read what we want to read, and we all dislike what we dislike, you know? And I hope you have an amazing reading day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.